Here are the top 10 moments with Joe Rogan's interview with Trump on Watch Mojo. Let's get right into it.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the wildest, most compelling moments from former President Donald Trump's hotly anticipated appearance on Joe Rogan's smash hit podcast.
And every time I had to deal with a country, when they saw this whack job standing behind me, they said,
whack job.
Man, Trump's going to go to war with us.
Number 10. Trump's plans for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
First of all, I love this idea of you teaming up with Robert Kennedy.
Right.
And I love this Make America Healthy Again idea because there are chemicals and ingredients in our food that are illegal in other countries.
The 2024 election cycle has, for lack of a better term, been an extremely wild ride. In an unprecedented sequence of events that found an incumbent president dropping out after the primaries, somehow the fact that a member of the Kennedy family was running for office took a back seat.
I think he's a great guy.
I love the fact that you guys teamed up.
Yeah.
And are you completely committed to have him a part of your administration?
Oh, I am, but the only thing I want to be a little careful about with him is the environmental.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., son of the Attorney General and New York Senator, initially ran as a Democrat before switching to an independent run and then dropping out of the race entirely and endorsing Trump. Trump said on Rogan that Kennedy would be guaranteed a spot to have carte blanche in his administration, despite their clashing views on environmentalism.
I said, focus on health, focus. You can do whatever you want. But I got to be a little bit careful with the liquid gold, you know?
I understand.
The liquid gold.
Well, listen, there's plenty of good work that could be done if you focus on health.
Number 9. Trump brags about how healthy he claims to be.
I was never one that could run on a treadmill. And I can do it. You know, when passing a physical, they ask me to run on a treadmill, and then they make it steeper and steeper and steeper.
As noted by the BBC, former President Trump has been scrutinized by Democrats
looks like he's 80.
for his apparent refusal to release his health records. Vice President Kamala Harris has done so, and her records declare her fit for the presidency.
And the doctors said, it was at Walter Reed, they said, it's unbelievable. I could have gone, I'm telling you, I felt I could have gone all day. But I said, Doc, I can do this all day long.
While Trump didn't address calls to release the aforementioned records on Rogan, he claimed that, during a physical examination undertaken at an unspecified date, even his doctor was surprised by Trump's level of physical fitness. This is especially interesting given Trump's consistent claims that he doesn't exercise. The former president insisted that golf is enough movement for him when talking to Rogan.
But it's boring to me. Do you understand?
Right.
It's just boring.
Golf's exciting.
But I did it for so long. They couldn't believe it that I did it.
It is.
And I never did, I don't do it. I don't really, I have friends that run on this stuff all day long.
Number 8. Trump discusses The Apprentice.
Well, the concept, it was really like two different lives. You know, I had a very wonderful life, but I wanted to do this. The Apprentice was still going very strong. We had 12 seasons.
At the podcast's outset, Rogan inquired as to how deciding to run for office had negatively impacted public perception of Trump, as well as his treatment by his fellow Hollywood celebrities.
Wow.
They both claimed that the hosts of The View and Oprah, for example, had initially held highly favorable opinions of him before polling indicated that Trump had a real shot at the presidency.
They wanted me to stay. They all came to see me. They said, we're going to give you a contract. They wanted to extend my contract.
Cool.
Mark Burnett is a great guy. Then they wanted to extend the contract. Mark said, you're crazy. Don't run. Don't run.
This led to Trump breaking down the conditions that found him departing the show for politics. Praising executive producer Mark Burnett, Trump explained that opinion polling around the time of the 2012 presidential election had first caused him to seriously consider realizing his long-held political aspirations.
And so I was thinking about doing it then, but I had a contract with The Apprentice. Plus, I was building 2 big buildings at the time, and I wanted to make sure they got finished up properly, and it was one of those things.
Number 7. Trump reveals his, quote, biggest mistake as president.
I had a lot of success. Great economy, great everything. Everything was great. The military, we rebuilt it, biggest tax cuts in history, all this stuff. We had a great presidency.
The former president has never been shy when it comes to slagging his perceived enemies and, quote, haters. When Trump ascended to the presidency, the caliber of his foes shifted significantly from, say, Rosie O'Donnell and the other hosts of The View.
I picked some great people, you know.
Okay.
You don't think about that. I picked some people that I shouldn't have picked. I picked a few people that I shouldn't have picked. And
neocons?
Yeah, neocons, or bad people, or disloyal people.
Prompted by Rogan to reflect on regrets he had from his time in the Oval Office, President number 45 didn't hesitate in revisiting a familiar talking point, insulting those he personally feels have wronged him. In this case, that was a number of appointments he made as president, including the, quote, idiot John Bolton, as well as his former chief of staff, John F. Kelly.
He loves to insult people.
He's bad. Bolton was an idiot, but he was great for me because I'd go in with a guy like a John Bolton. You know John Bolton.
Number 6. Trump thinks Kim Jong-un just needs to chill.
And don't underestimate North.
In a sense.
If you take a look at North Korea, I was there. I mean, I was with
just chill, bro.
I had a great relationship. I got along great with him.
Trump's presidency was obviously significant for a number of reasons, but one of the most prominent was his relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. After a heated 2017 back and forth, which saw them insulting each other, they reportedly developed a rapport resembling friendship.
I liked how you called him Little Rocket Man.
I said, yeah, Little Rocket. I said, Little Rocket Man, you're going to burn in hell. And it was a rough.
Yeah.
Oh, so rough that people were worried. This is crazy.
Notably, Trump became the first sitting U.S. president to meet with a North Korean leader, but this ultimately didn't yield any progress on the country's denuclearization. On Rogan, Trump described his interactions with Kim and amusingly suggested that the general secretary take a break from building nuclear weapons to go relax on a beach.
I got to know him better than anybody. Anybody. And I said, do you ever do anything else? Why don't you go take it easy and relax? Go to the beach. You have beautiful beach, nice beachfront property. You know, kiddingly.
Number 5. Why Trump gets so much publicity.
I used to say it
because he's a beast.
So I always got more publicity than other people, and it wasn't like I was trying.
It didn't take long for Trump to let loose on one of his trademark
The
stream of
Apprentice.
consciousness monologues. Soon after detailing his regrets as president, the former real estate magnate stopped to speculate as to precisely why he warrants so much media coverage and attention. As we all know by now, Trump is the only president to have served without previous government or military experience, which he highlighted during the Rogan interview.
Really?
I don't know exactly why. Maybe you can tell me why.
Oh, I could definitely tell you. You said a lot of wild shit.
Maybe.
The podcaster offered up a humorous but accurate hypothesis: Trump's characteristic penchant for outrageousness. Rogan then touched on how the former president's unfiltered, unspoken, seemingly genuine nature has been an integral part of his appeal to voters.
CNN, in all their brilliance, by highlighting your wild shit, made you much more popular.
Number 4. Trump almost admits to losing the 2020 election.
Stupid.
So I want to talk about 2020 because you said over and over again that you were robbed in 2020.
Yeah, totally.
How do you think you were robbed?
It was the question that was on everyone's mind. How is Rogan going to handle Trump's election denialism? From day one, the former president has maintained that he did not lose the election to President Biden, and very much in line with his other stances, that it was, quote, crooked and supposedly rigged against him.
And I would bring in papers that you would not believe, so many different papers. That election was so crooked. It was the most crooked election.
Okay.
Rogan allowed Trump a soapbox to air his grievances, and his response was interesting. The former president claimed to have documents that would prove his statements, and lambasted the voting process for its alleged unfairness. In one notable slip-up, Trump nearly admitted his margin of defeat before quickly correcting himself.
Right. They say that I don't believe it's this much, but it doesn't have to. I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost. Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes.
Number 3, Trump attempts to score a Rogan endorsement.
Do me a favor. Do you know Elon Musk? Yes. He endorsed me. By the way, he gave me the nicest endorsement, too. The tougher. He said, the country's going to fail. You should do the same thing, Joe, because you cannot be voting for Kamala.
You kind of have to hand it to Trump. It was nothing short of incredibly bold to try and coax an endorsement out of Joe Rogan, live on his own podcast. It was almost thrilling to watch. Asking Rogan if he'd heard that Elon Musk had endorsed him, Trump not so subtly tried to get the podcaster to do the same right then and there.
I've watched you. I know him better than he is. You know what? Without speaking to you, I think I know you maybe almost as well as your wife. I have watched you for so many years. You're not a Kamala person.
The former president expressed disbelief that Rogan could be a Harris voter and made a somewhat curious argument as to how they knew that Rogan would be in the pro-Trump camp. Rogan, to his credit, did not seem to acknowledge Trump's college try, laughing it off and encouraging the president to stay on track.
Your weave is getting wide. We're getting wide with this weave.
But isn't it
I want to bring it back to tariffs.
But wait one second before we finish with tariffs. They said, Could you get him? We need Starlink.
Number 2, Trump and Rogan clash on the environment.
Look, I've done so many they call it environmental impact study. I did so much to build a building.
Joe Rogan's like, don't cut my weed off.
You got to be you got to deal with. Think of it.
On paper, the president and the podcasters seemed like a natural fit, and this proved to be mostly accurate during the interview itself. However, there were more than a few moments in which Rogan proved to be less than receptive to Trump's signature braggadociousness. The most visible friction between the two stemmed from Rogan's environmental concerns.
Financing, unions, all the municipal stuff, environmental. Of all of it, to me, the toughest thing was the environmental, because they could stop you cold with the environmental impact studies.
The comedian listened intently as Trump described his history of supervising the construction of buildings in New York City and the environmental considerations that come with, as well as his criticism of bureaucracy and government red tape. In response, Rogan pushed back by suggesting that some level of regulation and oversight would prevent disasters, such as the devastating 2010 BP oil spill.
Right, but there are legitimate concerns about environmental impact, correct? Like, look about the BP oil spill. There's a lot of things that do happen that are environmentally devastating, and you want to mitigate that as much as possible.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Yeah, subscribe to Watch Mojo,
You have the option to
please.
be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Trump might believe in Martians.
There's a lot of interest in it.
One of the things that
There's a lot of interest in the people coming from space, you know.
Yes.
And I know you're interested in that.
Oh, I'm very interested in that. How much did they tell you about that?
A lot.
Really?
In what was perhaps the most eyebrow-raising moment of Trump's entire
That is
Rogan
insane.
experience, the former president casually floated his belief that there may be life on Mars. The admission was spurred on by Rogan's inquiry into Trump's decision to declassify documents relating to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy.
But I interviewed a few people. It's never been my thing, I have to be honest. I have never been a believer. I have people that Area 51 or whatever it is. I think it's the #1 tourist attraction in the whole country or something. Area 51 in Las Vegas. Do you know that, right?
Sure.
Rogan, who's spoken to ufologists in the past as part of his show, asked Trump about interviews with pilots who claim to have witnessed such phenomena. A highlight occurred when Rogan challenged Trump on his suggestion, and the president responded by doubling down. Whether you love Trump or hate him, it's inarguable that he's an entirely unique personality.
I mean, there's no reason not to think that Mars and all these planets don't have life, you know, because
Mars, we've had probes there and rovers, and I don't think there's any life there.
Well, maybe it's life that we don't know, but maybe
maybe there was life there at one point.
It's challenging.
What was your favorite moment from the former president's appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience? Be sure to let us know in the comments.
Did you enjoy this video?
I want to talk about the UFOs and stuff. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. We are not alone. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys want me to watch next. Peace.